Good time zone chat. How's it going out there? Welcome to your Going Optimal week. How you doing? How you doing? Doing pretty good. Many of you know this is going to be my last regular week of streaming for at least a little bit. Certainly my last regular week of streaming, hopefully for quite a while. My last streaming of any kind this week for a little bit at least, as I start a new job on a week from today. And I need to give that new job my full focus out of the gate to at least understand the landscape, understand what my free time looks like and how my brain feels during that free time. You know, just a lot of things to understand and explore about the new world I'm about to inhabit for myself coming up. And I know you all understand, and I appreciate that. So we're going to have some fun this week, like we do every week. I don't have anything special planned. We're just going to stream this week and hang out like we do. And then I'm going to come back on Monday morning at the usual time, but only for a very brief poke my head in and actually announce what my job is, let you know all what I'm going to do before I head in to do it. And that's going to happen Monday morning. So final goodbye, brief final goodbye Monday morning, and final regular stream this week. So thanks everybody for all your support over these 3+ years here. Well, is it 3+ now? I guess it's almost 3. No, it's almost 4. Wait, no. 3.5? We're like good 3.5 now, aren't we? Yeah, that's right. Oh, time flies. Wow. Time flies. Thank you so much, everybody. Yeah, I was thinking somehow it was only 3 because of subs being at about 36 months at the highest end right now. But then it's like, oh, but I didn't get that going until deep into the run. So there you go. My job has been King of Magic for the last 3.5 years, Pablo. Got to do something else now. What's up, Gar? Hey, Rob. Gar gets it. Sly and the Family Stone. I know I keep plugging that that Summer of Soul documentary, but it's only because some of you haven't seen it yet. It's so good. It's the award that was given after the slap. First the slap happened, and then the only Oscar I cared about the whole evening was awarded correctly right after. Definitely too soon to blah during the starting soon screen, I'm going to say. That's my hot take of the day. Mama's hot take is that Mondays are happy, I guess. Hat with the hookup, go to the store. I've already done it. I just kind of did it while waiting for the clock to count down. But if you pop in these codes here that Hat has made available, and I'm sure can bring up again, get some free sleeves. But you see, mine is already redeemed. And then also there's a gold deal today, some free cash. Hey, Alexis. Yeah. Well, I'll explain a lot more on Monday when I can. But yes, between announcing the search and accepting a position was a pretty quick gap, but I'll explain more on Monday. Pretty short gap. Good time zone, true. Oh, Alexis, I wanted to talk shop for 1 second, ask you this since you're here. How do you handle signed cards? And especially, do you handle them differently based on their value unsigned? Like, do you handle a $500 signed card differently from a $5 signed card from a 50-cent signed card? And do you have some formula? Because I really don't want to, hustle to sell expensive signed cards on Facebook or whatever, but I also want to be a complete buyer when I'm buying a collection. Yeah, you just do a photo listing. That's fair. Do you find but what's your algorithm for, if it were unsigned, I would pay this for it, but it's signed, so instead I'll pay, is it more? Is it less? my inclination is to say less because it's a pain in my butt, but I know that for the people who want it, it's a plus, right? It's an added benefit. Anyway, thank you for your thoughts, Alexis. Who else is here? Did I say hello to Pablo yet? I don't know. Hi, Pablo. Pablo reminds me that I also have 4 outstanding listen ups, but I am doing my homework. I gave first couple listens of a couple of them on my walk with Rocket this morning, and I'm planning to do 2 listen ups on Wednesday and 2 on Friday. My tally is that I have 2 from Timber, 1 from Pablo, and 1 from, who was it? I got you though. Anyway, I had 4, and if you feel like you are owed a listen up, because this is from those who listened to, I gave a fish challenge and proffered up a 25 minute 2 song fish challenge that if anybody listened to, they could redeem a free listen up. But I gotta be, they're not free listen ups if you don't do them, Ryan. So they're going to happen this week. All right. Farewell Gauntlet sounds good. Thanks, Hat. Jopester, welcome. Hey, Radiantware. Non at 40. So yeah, I've been subbing for 40 months. Wow. My new position, I have spoken with this is certainly part of my not negotiation as much as part of my fact finding and, ducks in rowing. My T crossing and I dotting included being very clear with my new employer about my LLC, my sole proprietorship, and what it does. And I've put a lot of time and money into getting my inventory to market. I really need to at least let the inventory I have in market sit there recouping my investment, right? It'd be bad for me if I couldn't at least recoup my investments from that effort. So the answer is yes, I can continue to at the very recoup my investments. It's not we just had to work out all the details, and I signed something about the nature of my work and how it was going to the do's and don'ts of it relative to my new employment. Well, you never know, True. I might come back on air and offer a 1,000,000-point channel points redemption. My channel points are the elixir problem of Twitch. You better not spend them, because what if? If I continue to stream, Alexis, it will be once on weekends. I'll tell you that right now. Like my question about the future is, do I come up with 1 3-hour-ish window on the weekend that I stream each week, or 0? That's so to set expectations accordingly. But also, Alexis, I've got a lot of stuff is happening in my life. Like, it's a really confluence of big change around here, and including my son just signed a lease with his friend up in Bellingham. Starting in August, he's gonna move to Bellingham and go to school up there and live with his friends who are also in school up there. And my daughter is on the cusp of moving out of the house as well. So I'm very close to an empty nest. And at that point, I feel like, we'll see. If the new job is so demanding that I have no room in my life post empty nest to manage some pricing on my on my inventory and to stream a few hours on the weekend, then I really need to examine whether the job is going well, because that work-life balance is important to me, and I expect and want to be able to kick ass at work and then go kick ass at not work, and that means enjoying myself, having fun, and carving that time out. And so we'll see, but that's why I'm not promising anything, because we got to see how it breaks. Well, thank you, Tron, for all the Amazon dollars over the years. Much appreciated. I mean, you can still sub to my stream, by the way. You know, I'm not going to take that down. You can just give me your Bezos bucks every month for a little tip. No, I would strongly encourage people to reward active streamers with your Bezos subs. Well, Mama, that's true. It's that's right. Mid-April. I remember that now. That Mama's subiversary is during really near my birthday. So there you go. Well, Mama, go back and watch the Buble video and pretend it's new again. Pass it around, yep. Hey, okay, thanks. I think you've probably heard by now, I'm announcing specifics about the job on Monday, week from today, before I head in for it. Yeah, that was my thought. I mean, I'm going to offer. I'm going to set. Normally, I just kind of say, here's what the offer is total. But I think for signed stuff, I'll pull them aside and specifically say, I can offer you this much for these, or you can just take them back. If you want the signed cards, go ahead and take them back. That's reasonable. Thanks. Yes, Timber's got a couple for Timber has optimized the off-menu redemption opportunities, shall we say. Oh, Rob thinks that because I have made arrangements regarding secondary market sales that it must be WotC, but let me tell you, I don't know, Rob, have you ever gone to work for a company when you have a company that, like, no matter what no matter what the details are, you got some stuff to get clear with your new employer. Bellingham does have good mountain sports. It's just it has a Georgia Pacific paper plant in it, and the paper plant makes the entire town smell not terrible. It's like some towns have a bad smell. Bellingham kind of has near the paper plant. We always thought it smelled a little bit like grilled cheese sandwiches, like just subtly. Not that that's the defining characteristic of Bellingham. It's just a small town, but and growing. There's the suburbs of Seattle, and then there's the couple hours away from Seattle type towns. It's the couple hours away, so it's not. It's it's its own place and growing. And I lived there for 2 years in the 4th and 5th grade, and my mom has lived there ever since then. We moved up to Bellingham. For actually, I guess it was 3rd, 4th, and 5th. No, yeah, 4th and 5th. We moved there 4th grade, and then my mom stayed there for the rest of her time so far. She's been a Bellingham resident ever since. It's going to be good for my son to have grandma in town. Hey, Magic Star. What's up, Math? Thanks for continuing to clarify, Hat. Appreciate it. Yeah, Alexis with an interesting observation there, who suggests that WotC would shut that down no matter what. That's what Alexis suggests. Yeah, generally, companies don't want you selling the product they make as a side gig. Generally. Alexis with some predictions / threats in case of predictions. Well, it looks like Streets of New Capenna is getting on it. Maybe do some more of those today. Let's see what we are doing today. We can. I didn't know the sealed Ravnica mixer was going to stick around. I'd happily do more sealed. And I think Arstal, I think you were the final listen up. I was trying to remember who all. Well, I thought we discussed this, and I was told to emphasize cap. Did I misremember? Pen? Okay, pen. I just misremembered what I was supposed to emphasize. Pen. I'll get there. But you see how much I pay attention to the new set details early on in this. Well, you say that, OPK, but the idea of a company like Wizards giving product to its employees it's multifolded, you know, but one of them is to encourage your employees to engage with your product. While economic benefit to the employee is part of it, it's more employee satisfaction, like that employees want, you know, you're going to get employees happy that they get, also they made this, right? Everybody in the building is the people who made this thing. So you want to give people what they made. Like every game I've ever worked on has given me a copy of the game, including, you know, digital, like, right, you know, it's part of the launch is the celebration of, hey, you get to display this thing you made too, because you get a copy too. But that, it's about that honoring of the work you did and giving you something to represent that work. It's not about, here's an extra $60 of value on top of your employment contract that you can go and sell. Of course, you can give it away. But as Alexa says, despite the thought that, hey, you gave this to me, therefore I should be able to do whatever I want with it. Nah, like when your company is giving you a thing with conditions, I think that's fair. They're saying, hey, look, we want to give you this, but optics are important. We're a publicly traded company, and we cannot have our employees side hustling on the street corner, selling product that we're trying to market with very deliberate efforts in local game stores. And, you know, so... Right. It's heavily about optics. You got to reward your employees, and you got to give your employees what they made. They made the thing, give it to them too. They need to, you know, but it's fine to lay down the law and say, that's what this is about. This is about honoring your work and effort with a copy of the thing that you get to keep. If you want to give it away, fine. If you want to trade it for something, fine. But you cannot wave it around and say, hey, I got this new in-box video game for cash. Anybody? Like, that's just chintzy and not the point. And don't do, you know, like I would never do. Like, yeah, I think conditions on that stuff is totally appropriate. I think my brain is kind of conflating it with Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live now takes place in Salt Lake City. Live from SLC. It's SNL. All right, we've already spun. Oh, I was going to poll. What are we doing, though? Poll 30, Rav, Neo. That's pretty much what we got, right? Oh, cool. And yours was Magic Spell, right? Last Spell, right? Final Spell, something like that, yeah. Tron, 25-year-old Ryan agrees with you. I saw Salt Lake City Punk when it came out and really enjoyed it, but I haven't seen it since then, so I'm always hesitant to recommend any media, any content that I haven't consumed for over 2 decades. All right, Ravnica Sealed Mixer, I'm in. I think it was good, though. It seemed legit. I'm not showing it on stream, but I have linked it. I think that's okay, right? It was a gift to me, so I can share it. I don't want anybody to feel like but I figure if you participated, you were cool with it being shared. But we can. There you go. Thank you. Hat all over it, unsurprisingly. Thank you again so much for that. By the way, I had a lovely birthday weekend, too. It was my 50th birthday last Thursday. Chat made me a lovely video gift that was very heartwarming and endearing, and I'm very grateful for it. And I shared it with my dad and stepmom and sister and brother-in-law at my family birthday brunch on Sunday, and my family really enjoyed it, my wife and 2 kids, but who enjoys that kind of thing, like crazy enjoys that kind of thing, the parents of the person being celebrated. So let me tell you, you gave me a lovely gift. You don't understand the gift that you gave my dad. He could not be, he's a teacher. He had 2 jobs. He worked in an ice cream store when he was in high school. Then he went to college, and then his first job out of college was in the anthropology department at the University of Washington, and that's where he retired. And he and my mom is a teacher as well, so I've grown up surrounded by teachers. My stepdad no longer with us and no longer married. My mom divorced him anyway, but as I was growing up, 3 of my 4 parents around me were teachers, and my dad always kind of thought that I would. My dad thought that I would be a great teacher, and as much as he's happy that I've taken whatever path in my life makes sense to me, he's in his mind always thought, oh, well, Ryan would have made a great teacher. And well, that's exactly it, Alexis. He I think came to the end of it and realized, holy crap, my son is a teacher. Like, he is at the very least leveraging those muscles and doing that thing. And he was very touched and so proud of me, but he was proud of me because of how you were able to communicate. It's almost like my family hasn't understood anything I've been doing. Not my local family has, but my extended family has a tough time, especially the elder generation, parsing exactly what I'm doing with my time the last 3 years between both the cards and the streaming. And somehow it took seeing you all interacting back with me for them to even understand that I was having an impact, So I really appreciated that gesture so much, chat. Thank you very much. And I just wanted to share with you how much it was then appreciated by my parents, who want to believe that I am the person my dog thinks I am, But let's do it. No drafting today. We're just going to get a sealed pool and see what it looks like. I've checked in with Card Kingdom. They're technically still my sponsor this week. They're not going to be my sponsor as of Monday. But if you like yourself some Magic cards, you know that I love me some Card Kingdom. They've been so supportive of me, including, gang, I got to tell you, and maybe I'm not a big player for them, so maybe it was not super expensive for them to do, but they took care of me and continued my sponsorship at a time when I was not delivering back in equal measure. You know, I was a charity case for Card Kingdom here at the end. Hopefully, the way I've represented their brand and the way that I've talked about them over the years here will continue to have positive effects on them for at least the people who are hearing me. But I just wanted to thank them for sticking by me even when I was cutting back on my streaming and not growing my stream. Usually when you're shrinking your stream, your sponsor is not very happy and kind of might say goodbye. But Card Kingdom didn't. I appreciate that about them. Thank you so much, Card Kingdom. What do we got? Absorb is good, but you know, at the end of the day, you could argue that this is in many games a very difficult to cast cancel. In Constructed, when incidental life gain is part of the broader long game plan for a control deck, this becomes a very powerful card. But anyway, it's kind of like a bummer of a rare when it could conceptually be at the very least an uncommon. Oh yeah, sorry. Thank you. Let's get out of your way. Boink. Smothering Tithe has become a Commander all-timer, but I don't know about us here. Charnel Troll. A lot of setup for something that you wish were a little better. This is almost like another constructed card where this is going to perform when you can consistently fill your yard. But I have hope with here in the, we might play this anyway. This being not a classically powerful rare doesn't mean we won't play it, because it's looking like blue-white here is pretty good. And I don't know if we'll play the Tithe, but we might if we have ramp or we want to splash, you know. But really, this is a commandery style card. All right, let's take a look. But I'm thinking blue-white looks pretty appealing. Although, frankly, the Loxodon rare, Venerated Loxodon, really is at its best when you're pumping out one-powered creatures. So we got a lot of rares that are really at their best when working in a constructed shell that's leveraging them, but still good. So I'm going to just start with pulling white-blue and see what that looks like. And the Dawn of Hope does like some incidental life gain, so suddenly that Absorb gets a little better. Sworn Companion making some lifelinkers gets a little better. Orators are good for that. So suddenly some incidental life gain is looking better for this deck. This is a reasonable trick. The main thing is it's 1 mana. Who do we have? Murmuring Mystic. Cool. I didn't even see. We'll see. Often you don't. We'll see if we have the instants and sorceries to really make this sing, but probably playing it anyway, and definitely playing the Sphinx, like the Watcher, Chili Bee. Muse Drakes are playable, but not as good as they looked to me when I first saw them. Admonition, great. Clear the Mind. We won't lose to Milling. Thought Collapse. We are kind of looking control-y here. Flyer Control. Windstorm Drakes. Oh wait, Prying Eyes I did not want to add. Yeah, I guess I could play Hunted Witness because it's not bad with the Loxodon, but I don't love this card. Well, a single Clear the Mind, we'll see. It can certainly be cut. This isn't an important card if we're not looking to go recur our library indefinitely. But sometimes it's not about having infinite ability to recur your graveyard and keep your library intact. Sometimes it's like, well, I've got 4 cards left in library, but 15 in my graveyard now. So I'm going to Clear the Mind, and I'm going to get a library of 20 again. And then I can, and it's 20, and it's 15 spells, right? Like, so we're going to lock it in, and then I'm going to take it home. Oh, that is a great point, though. Really, with this format, you should check your dual lands early. So I see some stuff here I should add, but I'm going to hop right to the lands because I think that's absolutely correct to do. And you can actually just, I like going in here and cutting out the basics, and then it just shows you what you got. So, hey, we got a guild gate in blue. Looks like there's some red support. So if we like the blue-white, red is a pretty easy splash with a white-red and a blue-red land. So we can keep that in mind. In general, there's also looks like a pretty good Jund core here. Like this trio of Jund lands is interesting. So that's what I'm thinking when I see those lands. Let's keep that in mind as we continue looking. I will add things that I would... this is pretty aggro, but I would run it here. I thought, are we aggro control? We're getting pulled in a couple directions, as is often the case in Limited, but I'm going to add the playable stuff, and we'll decide what we're really doing. Gates Ablaze is interesting. I'm going to put this in because, I mean, well, probably shouldn't. Nah, never mind. There's fancy play to like think of splashing this because we don't know it's actually going to, like at most it's going to be, if we get all of our gates down, then you're like 3 or 4. And then it's like, that's not reliable enough. So forget it. I retract that thought. Scorch Mark is splashable, but not particularly good. Direct Current is good, but not particularly splashable. I'm just looking at the red, given what we noticed about that. High Alert, Absorb. I think we're just... Look at all these Azorius gold cards. Bacon Bolt doesn't suck. We could splash that. What's our instant sorcery count? 8, 2. 10 isn't bad for this type of deck. Oops. That's not what I want. This. Yeah, it's a little... Yeah, the locket... Oops. You get gate. Legionnaire could play. It's not really splashable. This could play. I mean, you can splash it. It's just that you really want to cast this on 3, right? It's not great late, is the thing. So triple gate. Oh, no, let's cut the black. I think if there's a splash, it would be for the red, and Bacon Bolt is legit for that, I think. Book Devourer might be worthy, but it can be tough to connect with it. Yeah, is it even worth it? Should we hurt our mana for the Bolt? I mean, it is effectively a 2-for-1. If you pitch a land for the second part or an unwanted card. But yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking at, Alexis. It might just be greedy to run this. Just because we can doesn't mean we should when we can get a really tight-looking blue-white deck here. Currently on 9 instants and sorceries. I'd hope we keep that number as high as possible given the Murmuring Mystic. But let's pop up top here and see what we see. Is High Alert meaningful? Or am I just playing it because it's a blue-white card? It doesn't even... this does not have the upside thing, so it actually is a non-bow with things like Blade Instructor. However, if we have enough high toughness, it could be worth it. Murmuring Mystic as a 5/5 is pretty sweet. I mean, it's not Defender. Muse Drakes as 3/3 flyers for that draw a card is nice. Watcher is a 4/4. But not a lot, right? Not a ton. We could probably cut the High Alert. Yeah, our 4-drops were, but Muse Drake is like on my list of cards we could cut as well. In terms of, I also had Duelist as a 2/2. I don't know. Maybe you cut the Blade Instructor instead, and that's how you solve that problem. Kind of liking that, actually. I think there's enough going on. Yeah, true. We've got flyer toughness and power pumping flyers, but it's funny, the power pumping one is, well, if you have both out, then this does nothing, right? To the power. So, 44, best of 1. We're topping at 5. This could be 16, but I don't want to be greedy. Probably just want to be 17 here, since we're looking to go a little longer. Yeah, if we're not, and we're not being super aggro, I kind of want the zeal for interaction and instant sorcery count for Murmuring Mystic. High alert on Hammer's list. Any other, let's see. Yeah, let's cut it. I think you're right. I could bring back in the 3/1. I'm not sure we need it. I like cutting one of the Drakes, though. I think that's a good point. Or yeah, both. Maybe it's just cut the Drakes. They end up not doing enough. Like if you have sacrifice effects, or they just end up not doing enough. Which is weird, because when I saw that card, I thought, oh, this is great. It it has my favorite 3 words on it, and it's a flyer. How can I not like this? We could. I'm now clinging to instants and sorceries, basically purely for Murmuring Mystic, but that ain't nothing. Making sure you're making birds here is legit. And while you say this is not a Clear the Mind deck, all that really means is it's a little awkward if you have this in the opener and are getting tempoed out, right? Like if you don't have time to cast that spell, it's bad. You're in trouble. That's the downside. But the upside is that it triggers the Mystic, and it really does, like I said, you don't need to loop your graveyard. Sometimes just, you've played 12 lands now, your graveyard is all action, and it's thick. When you have a thick all-action graveyard and you clear the mind, you're really going to win the game from there. And it not only does it trigger it twice, it triggers it for all the stuff. It has it trigger everything twice, right? Yes, you're correct. I like how True put it. I hear you. It's not a Clear the Mind deck, but I may run it anyway for the reasons explained. And here we are at 40. Maybe I'm supposed to just run this. There is the last. I was thinking of putting this Blade Instructor back, so maybe I'll do that, and we'll come up with final cut proposals. So let's poll for 30 seconds. I'll put Blade on for just recutting the Blade Master or the Blade Instructor. Although again, now that it's not a non-bow with high alert, it's fine. I mean, it's a little vulnerable at 1 toughness. Yeah, it is. It's kind of weird. It's aggro, but it's got some late game legs. We do. We have Gates Ablaze and like basically, well, we could put in a bunch of red tap gates to up our gate count, but adding Gates Ablaze or Bacon Bolt don't make sense to me here. I think we have a nice tight 2-color, and we try to aggro out our opponents. I wonder if we can cut some well, Capture Sphere is clunky. It doesn't trigger Murmuring Mystic, but we don't have a ton of interaction, so we should probably run it. Yeah, we could. Yeah, the trouble, again, I'm just trying to keep my instant and sorcery count up. Right now it's at 9, so if we cut any of those, we're going to 8. That's still worthy for the Mystic, and but yeah, we could cut the Collapse, I guess. Let's get going. I want to play. so I'm going to do this. Didn't even name the deck, but maybe you can come up with one. Keepable. Looks fine. Pretty aggro. I'm going to go island first. If they play a creature, I don't want to telegraph pause the Zeal. This is sorcery. Okay. Yeah, we'll play that out. Arrestor Zeal could make for a 1 mana removal spell with these tempting to block 1/1s. Well, I guess that's not going to do much, but if they want to trade Poisoner for Shieldmate, that's cool. And we can create 2 1/1 colorless Thopter tokens, or we could also tap a creature and draw and get in. But I encourage Oppo to trade for any of these, so let's just send in. And then really we want to get 2 flyers out and then follow with the power pumping, and it'll be nice. As True observes. Instant speed, we can do it while shields are down, but I'm going to do it at the end of their turn. Mainly, I don't want to throw the 1/1s out there and give them some sorcery speed, deal 1 to everything. You know, they could, like... I just don't want them to really punish me for allowing them to interact with them at sorcery speed. That's all right. I mean, we got 2 life by attacking, though, right, Mike? Oh, I see. You were just saying do it with that. Yeah, yeah. You know what? You know where I'm at. I mean, it looked like it turns out it's not going to matter with the perception. I just didn't want to put creatures on board until the end of the turn if I didn't have to. Yeah, Oppo gets us at exact C's 10 minutes from now. Ah! Oppo in the tank. It's like, hopefully that means they don't just have a Gates Ablaze of their own they're sitting on. That'll help, but we're gonna Zeal and kill that Guild Mage, I bet. That'll be good. Although we only have 1 white, that's unfortunate. I'd love to be able to Blade Instructor and Zeal this turn, but we're gonna still swing in and Zeal that Guild Mage away. Or they don't block and we play Blade Instructor, and that's good too, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Yeah, Blade Instructor. Yeah, maybe I should have thought of that. True. Hard not to just keep bashing here. But they got 5 cards, a chance at more, all the mana in the world, so we are by no means a lock for this game right now. So True's line had some real merit. Could have just sent the flyers only, dropped Blade Instructor, and had a really nice looking next turn. And now with Aurelia, maybe it's going to come to haunt here. Certainly an island off the top. Nothing for us to write home about. We're going to drop the Instructor and look for other ways. Although presence of Aurelia means the whole Blade Instructor plan wasn't going to go off without a hitch anyway. But we'll see if we can get there from here somehow, some way. It's the life gain on here that can be tough, right? Isn't there life gain? Oh, no, sorry. It's vigilance. Look, I read at least. Woohoo! That's good. Vigilance bomb, we can try to find a way around with a little bit of time, but if we are sitting here letting Oppo gain 4 back per turn, well, that's a different story. Like, what are we hoping for now? Capture Sphere, just knocking Aurelia down would be nice. Chili Bee, same thing. Arrester's Admonition, bounce. Well, now 2 flyer blockers. Boo earns. There's the Chili Bee I even asked for. But now what? Drat! You get what you asked for, and it's still not quite. But we could go... let's see, if we knock down Aurelia and swing away, we can put... Instructor power on a 1/1, and then Spider eats the Instructor. Caretaker bounces off a now 2/2, and then they take 3 and go to 4. Ugh, that's not very important. Well, we're gonna have to chili the Aurelia and then hope we draw another piece of action to like manage the Spider. Well, if I put a counter on Flyer, yeah, I guess if they are always going to unblock the Instructor, we put it on Flyer. It might still be correct, especially with Chili Bee demanding a block by the Spider next time. So, like, they become forced to block the Instructor this time and the Chili next time, so that we kind of get through for 6-ish. I'm going to pin Aurelia because of the vigilance, and then I think I'm going to do it. It's not super clear to me, but let's do it. Now, if they want to go for the Flyer, that's incredible. I mean, I feel like they have to block the Blade Instructor here. Maybe they chump the Blade Instructor with a Caretaker to eat the Flyer, but that seems good for us too. And we technically have card draw, so I should probably play this land. I'm not. This is the type of case where showing that you have nothing does matter. But we have Clear the Mind that draws a card, and we have Sphinx's Insight, which draws cards. So I don't want to be short a land next turn. If we Sphinx's Insight, draw 2 cards, including, like, so there's 4, like if we draw 2 cards and a 4-drop, a land and a 4-drop, we're really going to wish we had played that land. Oh, that is certainly not what we were looking for. 1 flyer blocker, so Chili is eaten, and then... Boy, so is like I guess we could get in for 2 because they have to block Chili, and then this gets in for 2 and gets them to 2. So they block Chili, they block Instructor, they block one of the 1/1s, and we get in for 3. Ugh. Well, we get in for 3 at such a huge cost. We get in for 3, they go to 1, and then we have basically nothing. And I don't even understand our prospects at that point. So, brutal. I think we've actually have lost this one. I don't think the 1 point of life matters, but I think at 30-4, I much would rather be in Oppo's position right now. Now I'm sandbagging this because there's no, I don't see a way in which we're just like drawing a card draw spell and finding a spell and a land that equal a win, right? Subtle difference, but that's why I'm sandbagging now as opposed to not before. That I felt like we could legit untap and need all 8 of our mana to have a game-winning play. But now I just don't think we're game-winning. Not close. Maybe we can find our hope. What is it called? Dawn of Hope, and really just cranking out so many go-wide tokens and drawing enough cards that we can just get there off of that. So really, Dawn of Hope is one of our outs. Sphinx's Insight is exactly the card I was talking about, of the debate of whether or not to play lands. So now the punishment would be, let's see if we have a 5 that we really care about. So the punishment for my decision not to play the land this time is that we cast this and draw a Watcher in the Mist, and we can't cast it. That's the Watcher in the Mist and land is the punishing play here. Let's see if we see what happens. No, not punished. Because it's good TV for to get punished by the magic gods. I mean, called shots are fantastic TV, even when you're calling the shot into your brain. But nothing to do here. We built up, though. That's a good to get. We got some cards, got a little flow, got another creature out. This adaptation coming from Zagana, it's going to make for a big beastie. But we're still just trying to find the tools to get there in the air, right? Like, we're almost to the point now, if we can just find even... well, the trouble is they have 3 flyers as long as they have creeper activation. That's what's making this so... feeling unwinnable to me is the flying defense they have currently. There's just too much flying defense to overcome, so that I still think the only real hope and the reason we're continuing to play here is because Dawn of Hope would allow for a go-wide strategy that could get there before we're decked. Well, and the flood can pay off if we find the Dawn. Dawn is something to do with the flood mana, at least. The only thing we've got for Aurelia is Capture Sphere. At least that should work. Aurelia still gets to trigger, which is why we don't like Capture Sphere type removal, but we'll see. I like we're still at 20 somehow. 1, 2, 3 flyers, plus the ability to make one of them bigger. Close. 4 flyers. Is this going to help? We're trying. Don't counter me, bro. Still don't think we have an attack here. We need to, at least to have the Sphinx in attack mode. Yeah, it's true. A double block is 1 for 1, and if we can just stop Aurelia, I mean, maybe are they ahead on cards? 13 to 20. Maybe we win by decking them. So much for the scry, but made him burn their removal, and we still have a healthy life total. And we still have more flyers in the deck that could produce a double block scenario with Aurelia. And now that Zagana is getting in on the action, though, we've got questions to answer. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We just go to 8 and see what we draw. 3, we need to put 8 points on it. assuming no shenanigans, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we could do everything but the Chili Bee. And then if we draw another flyer, we do have more double blocks for Aurelia. But I think Tron is right. We go to 8 here and cross our fingers on something juicy off the top. This is bad news bears, though. But that's what we were calling multiple turns ago. We just came up short of getting it done with the aggro, and now Oppo's long game is annihilating ours with better rares and mythics, frankly. Mystic, you are not what we were looking for. Bummer. Close, but not quite in game 1 here. More troubles. I think that's probably enough. Let's move on here. I already thought we were pretty darn dead, and we needed the hope a couple turns sooner to have any prayer, to have any hope, one might say. All right, bummer. Just got really out-carded there. Played a reasonable game, but they turned the corner, really at their last turn to turn the corner, too. So good game of Magic in that sense, in the tension of aggro, trying to get an opponent dead before they can stabilize, and we had the critical stabilization turn that happened at the last turn it could possibly happen. So that's a sign of at least an interesting Magic game. Huh, pairing's taking a little while here. Nobody's playing Ravnica on Monday morning. Seattle. There we go. Somebody else is. At least one. Yeah, keepable. Shieldmate on 2 at least. If we can find some more cheapies, maybe we'll get a reasonably early Loxodon. Again, though, really the strength of the Loxy is in constructed or cube with tons of 1-drops, and we don't really have that. Got something to do on 4, though. I like that. And if pressed, we can Zeal on 3. Can't really block there. Oh yeah, last game we lost to a Caretaker. That sucked. This card is pretty garbagey. You do what you gotta if you're 3+ colors in limited, but you're not happy to play that card. Do we want to kill it? I'm probably going to kill it just to get it out of the way, and because I have nothing else to do this turn. But I don't respect the card. Oh, they're not even blocking. I guess they really need it. Okay. Maybe I'll block the Recruit and kill that instead, which I think is more of a problem anyway. You don't bother. It does block stuff, though, right? I mean, we do have 2 power creatures on the ground and everything, so... And if they are going to use it, you know, for something important, okay. That doesn't feel very important, though. We're going to try and trade that off and then just drop the Sphinx. Oh, hello. Never mind, we're going to try and duelist and get him. I almost clicked on my own creature. It probably would have warned me, but I instinctively almost did. And Zeal may prove relevant for defense. Oh, it says it literally couldn't. Well, I was going to try. But I'm sure if I was even able to click on it, the system would have warned me. It's pretty good about that. Well, that's why Oppo didn't risk it. They are stuck on 2, and that Caretaker is the only thing keeping them in right now. At this point, I could just chili bee it down, and then even potentially Loxodon coming up and take a turn off to buff everything. And yeah, that's where I'm at. Mike's on that line. So is Math. Watcher, we got another reach critter. Zeal could make short work of that, especially if they... Hey, how about Zeal and Foresight here? Sphinx Locks also totally legit. Just take a turn off. They can bash back, but we'll just be super swole for next turn. I was on Zeal Sphinx, but now I'm liking the greed of Sphinx Locks. Well, if we swing all, then we can't do the locks play. Come on, let's do this. This is cool. Let's do this. I'm doing this. I like this too much. We even get a blocker. Orator is worth keeping with the Dawn of Hope. I don't think the game's going to go that long, but I'll keep it in case I'm misreading the room. And I think we just send in with Zeal up and then decide what to do after combat. And I'm sending everything almost kind of just no look here with the Zeal and the general advantage. All right, so then it's what to save. I'm going to save the flyer. Loxy trading for a couple things on the ground is fine. Yeah, Oppo thought that was plenty done. All right, that went a little more according to plan, huh? Yeah, the flyer didn't die, but I wanted his thing dead. Yeah, that's a good point, though. Since it was a bounce block, I could have just saved Loxy. I really just wanted... But I liked the idea of the air being clear. Like, you clear that flyer blocker, how do we lose? Like, Oppo agreed, right? But yes, I should have acknowledged or noticed that this wasn't me saving a creature. It was me turning a bounce block into a kill. But I think it was correct. But I didn't observe the scene correctly. Shieldmate coming down on 2 has been nice. We're going to have to ask ourselves whether we want Sworn Companions or Absorb on 3. Probably Companions. Set up a world that you like and then protect it, rather than cast whatever they play on 3 no matter what. So I'm thinking we're on Companions. And actually, the drawing of admonition makes me be on companions even more, because we can get to a point where we companions, we do some other stuff, and maybe on 6 mana we have the ability to admonition main phase and absorb whatever it is on the way back down. Yes. Funky pet. We could admonition it now, though, but we can get in without doing anything to it, so let's go ahead and Sworn Companions this turn. Right, resetting, oh sorry, that's on me. Resetting counter-based creatures with admonition is great. Let's see how we do. The Emrakul pet coming out. It's just a little tentacle. Sphinx of Foresight on turn 4. Not the worst I've ever seen. Yeah, I'm just gonna Foresight here. Hopefully you draw a land and Windrake. Scry won't hurt our chances of drawing a basic. Question is, if we find our gate, are we going to keep it? Probably. I'll just keep the gate and hold up Absorb or something. They don't like the looks of that Sphinx and are figuring out what to do about it. Can't block the potential 5/5. But I bet it's a threat of activation. I expect to take 3 and have them do something follow. I saw it that way to Arstall, and I still sometimes say it that way. I feel ya. Wow, I really want to land, but Chili would be great after I get a land, but I'm going to be a grown-up. We have a pretty stacked hand with lots to do, so let's find the mana to do it. Ta-da! And I am going to go with Windstorm Drake and then a land next turn, and we set up the whole Absorb Admonition combo that I was noting. Oh, Oppo pausing here. Let's see. Is this going to get quenched? What's the pause? Oh, it could be just the Courier. Sorry. Courier explains the pause. Well, clearly they're top decking for answers to the Sphinx, or they would have done something about it. So I feel like we're in a great spot, especially if we can untap and scry ourselves another basic land, and then we have the Absorb Admonition. Or really, if we can just untap and protect all of this with the Absorb, even if we don't find another land and I just stop doing stuff and hold up the Absorb, then we're going to be very tough to beat here. We just need to untap with our stuff in play still. I say that and tempt the aura base removal or whatever, but you know, in that case we admonition our own creature, I suppose. Yeah, super nice. And the boy, when you get it in your opener, it's so sweet. You're just like, keep anything. Two-card discard. Well, there you go. I wanted to set up the whole whatever, but we're going to hold Absorb because this doesn't stop our plan from working. Absorb is going to protect our plan. They can have the clear, they can have the admonition. We keep our Absorb and keep our flyers. Now I don't really need this. We don't really even have double white, right? So there's no need for a second plains, despite us being low on white. So I'm going to scry that down. Can't play the Orator and hold up Absorb, though, so we're going to just hold up the Absorb. They do get blocks on the Drake. Do we make them do that block, or do we just keep the Drake back? I think we make them do that block. Let's set up... We do have combat tricks, so let's train them to block when we are the aggressors. Glaive. With 1, 2 gates, it's not going to be enough to kill the Foresight, but if they drop more gates, it will. So I am gonna counter this because it represents something that could stop our flying attack. So I'm gonna do it. Okay, well, make him work for it. And now, are we just on attack everything? They block the 3, they take 5. They can block 2 of our biggest, they take 6, they go to 2. That doesn't really change much about next turn, though, so I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to send the Sphinx of Foresight now. Yeah, I could swing the Flyers, but they've shown the block. They are going to make that block. I mean, maybe they're worried and they block the 5/4 instead if I attack. I suppose it's basically free. They can't really attack back. So maybe they make the mistake of blocking the other way, right? So we gave them that shot. Don't we want them to choose to block the 5/4? Like, that would be great. Why don't we want them to block the 5/4? Then what do they do with this that is of any use? I just want them to have no flyer blockers. Then that seems great. That's why I wanted it dead. It's like, but there you go. Wasn't enough anyway. All right, one more notch. I am out of coffee, and I know there's more waiting for me upstairs. Give me a couple minutes to doctor my brew, and I will be back to play some more, okay? Hang tight, gang. Hey, ya. All right. Thanks, Alexis. Meet like heck. Plan and plot, and then take over the world. I do have to figure out my work look. I don't want to cut my hair short. Nobody's going to make me cut my hair. But I want to come across as a serious professional person, to be respected and listened to, and appearance is part of that. So I just got to make sure I've got a look that's doing that, you know? Don't need land, but let's keep... I guess we want both of these. Scout and Shield Mate become 2 and 3. Sphinx becomes turn 4. And then we find land 5 for Chili Bee on 5. And that's an excellent curve out. So I'm going to keep those like that. No worries, Van. But as people are learning when they ask that question, I can't give full details until a week from today. My new employer would like to announce on the day that I start, and that's a week from today. But I am going to pop on and tell you all first. That's the plan, is that you all get to hear first, and then the rest of the world will hear right after. Not that, and I don't want to oversell this like there's going to be some massive announcement that the world cares about, but it's a high enough position at the company that they want to, you know, they want to control the messaging. But I'm not suggesting that I'm like, yeah, I don't want to oversell it. Well, interesting attack. I'm in for blocking and trading for Trick or Banneret. That's fair. There you go. Somewhere between intern and CEO is correct. I'll give you that. And we could clear the mine to max mana, but we're going to scout it. Just get another creature out. Well, no attacking if we want to cast the Sphinx, and I do, so we're going to do that. Now, the thing about the Sphinx is, because of the opening hand Scry Dealio, the opponent does have several turns to plan for it, so it wouldn't surprise me to have the Sphinx be dead upon untap, given that Oppo has known all game we've had it, but we're going to make him have it, and then know that we have some good stuff behind if they do. Hey, we got one of them. And hey, we wanted that for Chili Bee. For Loxy V. All right, everybody. Man. Wait, where is it? I wish I was in better control of my own memes. It would have been much... Where is it? Oh, because it's not in my... I was looking for the get to the point meme, but it's not in this scene. That's why. I have to go here for it. Then I can find it.
Is today's hectic lifestyle making you tense and impatient?
Shut up and get to the point!
That was unfortunate, but we can still get him. Let's get him. All right, admonition helps us race here. Yeah, but admonition does tax us on the way back down if we bounce the spirit. I'm just going to insight and race. We could. I'm going to do that next turn and Sphinx this turn. There we go. Now we can bounce that instead and play a Blade Instructor to at least chump. Let's do this and see what happens. Ooh, close. With the Mystic almost able to come down. But yeah, I think we send in here, play a Blade Instructor, speed bump the Instructor, and try to get there in the air. Because there are 2 swings away, and next turn we can send the Scout. Oops, no, not auto pay. No, no, no. So if nothing changes, if these 2 cards or this card don't affect our plan, we've got this. They need a flyer or removal. Well, there you go. They I said what they had to have, and what do you know? They had it. So now what? Now I might be in... Wait, did they just give us the game? I think they just gave us the game. We're going to take this and attack for 9. Okay, thanks, Abo. Well, maybe this is... If this card is the +2, we'll tip the cap. Scotty says block. Is it? Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I did the math wrong. How did I have that wrong? I thought we were at 10. What? Oh, is the Thrall. Sorry, Thrall threw my math off. We were at 10 just a second ago, and I was thinking of the Thrall in terms of the life gain for them and the flying blocking, but I forgot that we got knocked to 8. Whew! But that's where the mistake came from. I missed that part. At least I didn't make the mistake of then not blocking there. And at least, hey, look, Mike did it too, so I'm not alone. Magic's hard, turns out. Well, this is not bad. We can Mystic, clear the mind, and get 2 blockers, and we can do that after we even send in Chili Bee and Skyline and kind of make them, like, and I think they'll block. I mean, I think they kind of have to. So I'm going to send in, and this is a bit risky, but I think they... block the 3/3, which is what I wanted. It leaves us pretty vulnerable. We're going to chump 1 and bounce block the other. They've got a Summary Judgment. We know this doesn't do it. They can kill our Scout, which they might do, but we do have another flyer behind. This is getting a little hot under the collar, but not dead yet, as we say. Probably just the giant, right? Oh, they're gonna Judgment. Okay. Oh, maybe they can do both. Yeah, both is nice. I like both, Oppo. Good play. Chili Bee for the save. Is it going to be enough? We'll see. We get Chili and Shieldmate, and that's better than dying, for sure. And I might have to double block Chili and Shieldmate on one of the 4/4s to be able to stabilize, and then Watcher we try to win with. I don't know. Still tight here. Still very, very tough. Which 4/4 do we want to trade for? I don't. We have bounce back in the library. Oh, never mind. Now we are so dead. I'm gonna scoop it up. This is double chump. At which point we have nothing to survive. Oppo did it. That's a good game of Magic. Close, interesting choices. Top decks mattering at the end. Didn't go the way we wanted, but trying to be better about identifying good games of Magic that don't go my way. My brain thinks all of those are bad games of Magic, and I'm trying to retrain it a bit. Foresight again, so amazing in the opener. We're short on blue, but we're going to use the Sphinx to find that. Unfortunately, hopefully that's we find a second island and it's the last land we see for a bit. That would be perfect. And Sphinx hopefully helps us move towards that. But we are absolutely, if we don't see an island in this opening hand scry, all three go to the bottom. We really want an island for turn 4 here. Yeah, I'd probably keep a 2-drop. You're right. That'd be too good for our purposes. But hey, we kind of got what we wanted. We don't have. Speaking of 2s, though, maybe we don't get what we didn't get what we wanted, and we should actually only keep the island and pitch the rest, looking for early plays. We've got admonition to buy us some time, though. So maybe I'm overthinking that. And okay, so we don't do anything on 2. And they get a jump on us. Well, we admonition into Sphinx, into Watcher, into Loxy, into, right? So maybe we just keep all this. And accept that we are starting our game this time on 3, and that it's pretty powerful. You like Island bottom? Well, I gotta decide soon. All right, I'll do that because I got to decide. It was kind of where I was starting, but then I thought maybe I was being too greedy almost to do that, and instead of just accepting a perfectly fine 3, 4, 5 plus. But we'll see. Of course, if I weren't looking forward to a D, I wouldn't have accepted the position. Oh, a little bit late, Orator. But with nothing to admonition, I'm happy to have something to do. So you're not. Could have been worse, Orator. You're welcome on the team. Let's get there. Hey, Luke, Luca and friends, welcome. Just Lolaman rating with 166. Thank you so much. Luca, this might be one of your last raids. I don't know if you heard, but I've accepted a new job. I'm not telling anybody. I can't tell anybody what it is until a week from today. I start a week from today, but I'm going to be going back to work. Not that this hasn't been work, but you know, that other kind of work. I suppose I could have attacked with the Orator. Maybe they don't block. Thank you. We don't have a ton of... We only have the admonition to trigger it right now, but we're going to go ahead and keep the Mystic. Too strong of a card. And we can sphere the Knight Arbiter. That's a good answer to this. Although they're playing... Well, they're playing everything. But with blue, they might be able to bounce their own Arbiter. A week from today, I'm going to come on. My usual start time is 9 a.m. Pacific. Basically an hour and 40 minutes ago from now. And... So 24 hour, a week from now, minus an hour and 40 minutes, I'm going to hop on and let everybody know before I go into orientation for my new job. Let's play a land, and I think we can accept Arbiter for a turn here. I'm going to go ahead and obviously send the Sphinx with the tapped out Oppo, but I'm going to go ahead and play Watcher here and max the mana. Also, certainly don't mind the surveilling ahead of another scry. So our card quality is under pretty tight control here. I like that. Do we want a Skyline Scout? I'm going to say no. I would rather have more action for the Murmuring Mystic. Find some instants and sorceries. It's a kind of weak spell to draw at this point, the Scout. Especially in the face of a Muse Drake. At some point, the Muse Drake's got a chump or whatever, but, you know, right now, this Skyline Scout just doesn't do much. That's true. But I could just like drop in the Mystic or the Sphere anyway, and that's fine. Maybe we'll get a 2-spell out of it anyway. Draw a 3-drop. Nothing on the 3-drop front. And now they've got a blocker for the Watcher. That's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, that's true. I still don't. I don't know. I still don't regret this. I don't care about this card. I don't like that we drew a Plains, but I like that we're a card deeper into our deck than we would have been if we'd kept the Scout. It just doesn't seem like a super relevant card. Yeah, we could bounce the Drake. They get another card out of it, but we get an attack in right now. We get a card out of it too, and then the Watcher can attack from here. But yes, I think the Mystic should come down before we do that play. So I'm going to go Mystic now, and then next turn we can do Sphere Admonition. Or Mystic. Yeah, we could do... Actually, that's true. We could do Sphere now, and next turn Mystic Admonition. If we Sphere now... Are we looking to pin down the Drake and attack, or pin down the Arbiter? Because we were talking about bouncing the Drake, but we could Sphere the Drake and just bounce the Arbiter. And then I kind of like that. I don't know if you agree with me, but I'm going to do it because the clock's winding down here. They don't get another card out of it. We take a counter off the Knight Arbiter, and then between Mystic and Orator, I don't really care that they're getting an unblocked 2 every turn. More ground stuff is okay. We just want our Watcher to get there in the long haul, and for Orator, Mystic, and Flying tokens to contribute to that plan and the security of that plan. All right. All right. All right. Well, now I'm on Admonition the Watcher, I think, but I will still do it with the Mystic out first. And I think with the Orator, like even at 3, if we can get our flyer going again, we can overcome this. We can use this to tap it. We can add more flyers. If they don't get up in the air, we're still going to win this game. And we're going to gain a lot of life out of the deploy. So I'm not worried about the race. So I am going to bounce my own Watcher. You will be absorbed. Another island wouldn't suck. Then we have absorb plus deploy. Yeah, hard smack here, huh? Acting like I have no problem winning the race. If they pump it up to 5, we take 8. Whew, that's going to be hard, but look at all the life we've got. We got 3 here, we got some amount here. I am gonna just take this. More life to gain. Let's see. We can go boom, 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 boom. Get a get 2 life and some cards. We would not be able to then play Watcher. Maybe this turn I just need to get the Watcher back down, and then we have a much more relevant turn next turn. Although Sphinx. If we find the island and hold up absorb, we do get a lot of flyer blocking. I really want to use the deploy here, but maybe I'm just supposed to tap and draw. You can click it without buying it, and if you click it, it will show you what things do. Clicking it doesn't buy it. I'm gonna play this. I'm running out of time. Sorry, I had to do this. Had to figure it out. Okay, another Orator and a Arresters. I think I want the Zeal. I'm running out of time again. I'm gonna do that though. I think Zeal's gonna be good for us. And then, so now, given the Zeal... Oh, sorry, Zeal is what I was even thinking about. Dang it. I thought... I got nervous about my hourglasses there and made a quick choice. I think this is still going to be okay. Actually, I think this will be fine. I was thinking it was a different card, though. It's interaction, though, so it'll be okay. The question now, to me, is... Am I supposed to just depose here? I think I am... I'm going to depose the eel and prevent some damage here ahead of Insight Absorb. We get another flyer out of it. We get a card out of it. So we're losing some life, but we're gaining that life back by not having to deal with the eel this turn. So it's kind of like gaining 5. Well, I win the race by not having to chump or do anything about this eel here. And with Absorb and Insight, I mean, we're at a virtual 16. So, and with the Orator, like, I don't know, we're actually more than that. Like, I keep forgetting, like, as you make a creature, it does it. I think we're at a more comfortable virtual life total than maybe it seems. Although that's not fantastic. Now I'm likely to send the Watcher in alone, hoping they go for a bounce block that we disrupt with the Zeal. Unfortunately, a Zeal on a 1/1 flyer does not actually win combat against the Watcher. But we can go... Orator? Because this will gain us more life when... birds enter. And then we have both Insight Absorb up after we Zeal after combat. Well, we presume we're going to Zeal here. Let's see, maybe they... if they don't block, We could double block and Zeal on defense, but looks like we get the Zeal play we wanted. I really didn't want to tempt them into trying to eat one of the birds, Rob, and then they just do that. I mean, maybe that's fine, and then we kind of win the race from there. But I really like this, clearing their only flyer at the moment, and setting that up. And then now with Absorb, like, we really have this not on pure lock, but we are in a very good spot. We cast this Absorb, we gain 5 life, so we're at a virtual 17, and if they have anything to stop our flyers, they need 2 things. Unless they got something uncounterable. I don't even know what such thing exists in the set. Time to start chumping this, though, and I'm happy to use bird tokens to save 5 here. Even though the birds are successfully attacking, the orators are producing life. Mystic is producing birds, so they're really the only thing left. I had met Rob D. Rob's one of the handful of viewers I've had the pleasure of shaking hands with before getting mopped up in a Modern Horizons draft. I love that D's yelling at me both to get on with it and then asking me distracting questions. Well, we only have a few of these left. I'm going to go ahead. We could wait and get more life out of this with the gain 2, but I'm not going to not leave this unspent. We're going to draw. We get 2 anyway from the orators. We just don't get 4. Oh, I see. Well, he's still timed out. There you go. If anybody if a mod wants to untime out D, that's fine. It was a I got to time out D a bunch this week, though. We've only got 3 more days for it. All right, they had the counter, but we still have the dominant air game, and they got to still find something for it. So we're going to hold the Absorb. I could keep back a critter. Do we need to? Let's see. One flyer for the chump, and then kind of absorb anything. Yeah, that's fair. Doesn't change the clock much either. Right, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it doesn't. Well, you could argue it. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. I like it. Probably cracking the locket. That's what we want to see here, is the desperation locket crack. Now, you could make a case for not countering that since the Watcher still attacks through a 3/2 flyer, but I just want to get him dead here. This is great. Now we can chump on the ground with lifelinkers instead of with our birds. So we can swing away with the birds and be in bonkers good shape after we resolve this Sworn Companions. Yeah, another bird to boot. And 6 life. Oh, did I miss a win? Did we? No, they had 2 blocks. It wasn't a win. There we go. There's the Desperation Locket crack. Scoop incoming! Yeah.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
All right, we got to the halfway win count. Always good to see that. Now, if we take a loss, we've got at least a 50-50. But, you know, good old sealed here. We only need to get to 6 wins before we break even. Really a rough opener. This part looks beautiful. This part, not really what we want to see. And it puts us in a position of asking our deck for 2 things. We want both land to be able to cast our 4+ drops, and we want small spells to be able to do something early. So I'm going to throw this back, despite it looking, in the abstract, kind of okay. But we just can't go in planning to start on turn 4 and asking our deck for multiple things to function. So keeping this, and can probably ditch, we could be greedy and ditch a Plains knowing that we have the Sphinx to look at the top 3, because we really want to find a second island for the Sphinx. And I am going to be that greedy because of the Sphinx. Maybe I keep the 2-drop because 2 drops are good, but then we're going to leave it off the top and hope that there's land behind. But this is okay. Really wanted to see another an island, not a Plains, but this will do. Blade Instructor, or probably Blade Instructor next turn, Admonition setting up the Blade Instructor attack the turn after that. Oh, Oppo not doing anything yet is great. I mean, they might. Let's attack and see. All right, no pauses even. That's true. Maybe just Loxy next. Do we have any 1-drops in the deck? I don't think we do. Not creatures, anyway. To the extreme, I rock the mic like a vandal. Light up the stage, wax a chump like a candle. Do we trade? No. You can do your rummaging. I'm going to do my ass kicking. We could do the Loxy. And but with the Admonition and now the Foresight, I think I'm just going to attack here. Especially because this is our window to get a free counter on the Orator. And then we can Admonition the Vandal. And if they want to spend their next turn redeploying the Vandal and re-hasting it, that's fine, right? I don't like not doing the Admonition, but I want to get a card out of it, so I am going to just tempo them here. Unicorn is an interesting draw. Further supporting aggro. Kind of a weird card. You know, we're a bit on the straddling a line of, we have some aggro, we have some late game. Unicorn is really at its best in pure aggro, which we are not. Now we don't even have a good attack because Blade Instructor is eaten by the Mystic, so this is a good time to go ahead and Loxodon or Sphinx and then Loxy next turn. So I'm going to go ahead and lock Sphinx here. Although again, they may be ready for it and looking for it. I could do Unicorn instead, but it still doesn't give us great attacks into a Mystic. So let's Sphinx it up. Yeah, well, maybe. Having a Mystic doesn't mean having instants and sorceries. We assume Oppo has put them in the deck, but I like being worried about it. But there's always hope. Maybe we won't get thwarted by them initially, and maybe the Sphinx, especially if we can venerate it, just gets big enough that they can't really, even with a decent flow of instants, kill the Sphinx. They can just speed bump it for a bit. We'll see.
Choose wisely, because the other one's going bye-bye.
Yeah, we'll take some time to try to get that. Probably meaning that I'm going to Unicorn next turn. Even if we draw a land. We have land Loxy for a bunch, and we're going to definitely keep the land. But I'm not sure we actually... Unicorn Loxy here. We can just Unicorn attack with Sphinx. Well, we could trade the Instructor for it right now. But I was thinking we can just go Unicorn. I don't know. What do I want to do here? This is where Loxodon's play pattern. It has some tension because it's powerful, but I don't know if I want to take a turn. Yeah, I know we can kill Raw at the cost of a Blade Instructor. Unicorn has to attack? No. Yeah, I guess they're drawing cards. Okay. Let's do it then. Blade Instructor is trading for their next RAL card. Too bad we didn't draw our pump spell. That would have been sweet to take out the Mystic with that play. As it is, let's go ahead and Unicorn. And then next turn we may be able to go Dawn of Hope, Venerate for everything. That's true. They could start chumping. That's probably the best reason to do that, Mike, is that fear of birds to protect Ral. When we venerate, if we venerate everything and it all lives, then we get to the point where we're attacking with an Inspiring Unicorn that's actually pumping the Orator into attack through Mystic levels. Oppo has a lot of cards, though. Are they... All right, there you go. No, everybody keeps judging our 4/4 flyers. Wow. From looking good to looking yikes. Although I just got a little better. Sworn Companions into Loxy is pretty cool. Still, I don't know about this. It's getting tough in here. Dawn of Hope with the lifelinkers, though. This should be interesting, to say the least. Both sides pumping out some tokens. 2 5/5s on the ground for at least an attack, but the Unicorn's going to get traded for pretty quickly if we start doing that. Ugh. Well, all right, so I'm going to build up, probably go wide with Dawn of Hope. If we find a basic land, we can even do that. Or maybe play Dawn of Hope and attack with a lifelinker. Or Sphinx, find land, play Dawn of Hope. All right. Well, you like a big swing here. So what happens if we swing away? If we swing away, well, Dawn of Hope doesn't get any value. Well, it doesn't. What do we? Oh, I guess we get one card. Yeah, I guess we can play Dawn and get one card. And then, yeah, it's a good attack, right? Because the 3 toughnesses will trade with anything they block with. So okay, I'm in. I'm in for big attack. Well, I had the second mana. Just hold on a second. Another good game brewing here. I don't know how it's going to play out. I don't know who's winning this one, but at 2 to 28, you'd think I'd feel a little bit better, but I know Oppo is one spell away from some extra birds and maybe killing a thing. You know, we could get controlled pretty quickly if we don't get him dead soon. Oppo digging, clearly. Well, probably not a Sphinx. What? Windstorm, just flyers, right? Our own Murmuring Mystic would be cool. Capture Sphere, but just flyers. We got so many flyers. And we'll go ahead and play this. And oh, I guess I didn't need to play that first. Do I attack first? I guess if I'm going to potentially draw off of that, I do. Let's send everything. You like, yeah, I could look for the combat trick. I could still do it. But it's not my main phase anymore. Is it worth it? I mean, I could do it for no life if we wanted to potentially find a trick to save the Orator, but I think I'm going to just... yeah, I could do without the life too. It's true. So let's do it. We might find a reason to change this play. We can draw off the enchantment too. That's the thing. And hey, look, we did. We got everything. Maybe we want to kill the Mystic. Yeah. I'm with Radiantware. We let this happen. Okay. Oppo's like... It's interesting that Oppo scooped. Looks like everybody agreed. We were going to kill the Mystic, and... got to 4 wins. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, that's why I don't know why they scooped. They didn't see what we drew. You know that big sort push from last month that I was telling you all about, that I sent about 38,000 cards eastward to be sorted and graded by TCG Player? Well, they finished. They got through all of my cards as of like Friday afternoon, and I excitedly went to export my staged inventory so that I could work with it in a spreadsheet offline, and it didn't work. I couldn't export it. I don't know if Alexis went to a meeting, but I'm curious if she ever had that experience. Oh, we're going to keep this as a solid keep. I just was checking. I got an email from them. They're trying to help me solve the problem. It's like, well, yeah, I'll just play Dawn of Hope here. It uses some mana, and hey, we can even start making cards next turn if Oppo does nothing to give us anything to admonition. But I'm not going to clear them. I could clear the mine too as it cycles, but let's get Dawn out. We want that out eventually. It's just not really what you want to do in the first handful of turns, unless you've gotten some lifelink out first, I suppose. Now I'm liking going ahead and just arresting this thing, although we could make a 1/1. But arresting is a good use of our mana and lets us attack, etc. Clear the Mine Shieldmate next turn is now an option. Or Fly the Scout Shieldmate also. Or Chili Bee. Bring in the pain. Insert Lizzo here. I'm a thick bee. I need tempo. Good card. That's why. This is a good card too, though. And new plan. We were going to make a 1/1 and a 2-drop, but how about Sphinx of Foresight and a 2-drop instead? Could also do Sphinx of Foresight and get in for 2. Could also just offer the Scout for the Grudion, but I don't see why we would do that. Really, at 20 to 14, we're about to drop a 4/4 flyer. I actually like the get in for 2 play and then drop Sphinx, and I'll just do it this way. You do? Well, all right. Well, then let's decline and see if they want to trade, because that's true. The thing is, the reason why I didn't want to do this, I'm changing my plan with a little feedback from chat. But the 2/2 doesn't do anything into a 3/3, whereas the 2/1 that can fly continues to apply pressure to an opponent in a successful way, whereas this doesn't do much on the board after we complete that play. So that's why I didn't want to, but a couple people in chat were like, no, make the trade, and it seemed fair enough. We're on the front foot, so not too worried about an IGI. We just got to keep the pressure on, and don't mind scrying that to the bottom. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have, like, the ideal play is not to send and do the 2/2. This is okay, though. And now Capture Sphere gives us another thing to do instead of making a token. And I'm going to do that. They don't have the tools to block the shield mate this turn. So Capture Sphere on runner is more pressure, and I want to do that. Love the vigilance here. Although they have crackback with dissident, if that's their plan to crackback with dissident and pump, I think that's fine for us. Oppo figuring out how much they can take and decided not that much. Yeah, my patience is worse than yours, Mike. That's for sure. I try. My mindset tends to be cast it now, get him dead, and I can sometimes not have the correct patience. But this is fine. We're now in a spot where really we're just going to send the Sphinx, hold up, absorb for anything major, and then Dawn creating a lifelink. Chump draw is a fine sequence. Right, we definitely don't want to get hit by the Racketeers. Well, if we don't token to block, Mike, we are ditching the Clear the Mind. Are you okay with that? I think they haven't shown the ability to deal with this. I'm gonna not discard anything here. Although now, yeah, I guess it could be. I was like, oh, it's pausing, but the IGI could be activated now, so that explains the pause. Maybe I'd be fine with a discard, but I'm sure fine with blocking, gaining life, and drawing a card. The only, we are going shields down on absorb, which I know is not nothing, but I'm willing to do it given the lack of immediate action we've seen from Oppo. We assume they're top decking. Not that they can't. They could have top decked, but I'm going to make them. I mean, the answer, Sirion, is to hold up absorb. That's exactly the reason why, is that if we feel like, who cares about Clear the Mind, they can have it. As long as we have absorb up, we win the game. If I felt that about this game, I would have held the absorb up, but I don't necessarily feel that way about this game. And also there was my risk assessment where I know they didn't have anything in hand to punish us. So we're talking about how many cards left in a 25 card deck can punish us. Turns out, look, they had one. All right. They had one. I still like our spot. I still stand by that decision. I like the decision. The result is not what I wanted, but I liked the decision. Now we can Blade Instructor, hold up absorb, and make a Dawn of Hope token as needed. Although, I mean, it gets real here with IGI without pressuring it. And if they send in here... Oh, that's interesting. I guess we absorb that. And then block with the Blade Instructor if they attack from here. And then Clear the Mind plus Dawn of Hope puts us in a much better position than Oppo, given the current life totals. It's not a mission critical spell, and maybe this is me doing that again where I'm like using that too early. But even with them with two creatures here, two flyers, I like our spot. Because we're going to start pumping out things that can tangle with those flyers and produce us value as we do it. Clear the Mind first, though. And then we have Dawn of Hope token after. Uh, 2/2. I'm gonna go 1/1 lifelink over a 2/2. Although, what do you think? Is that fancy play? Maybe I'm just supposed to play my shield mate. But this draws us cards starting next turn. That's why I'm thinking about it. Like, we do this and start attacking, and it just draws us cards. So, yeah, I'm gonna draw cards. Uh-oh! Just when you thought you were doing fine, Oppo drops a bomb mythic on you. So, are we dead? Life total becomes 4. Discard your hand. Yeah, I think we're kind of just dead. It's a good one. Do we have enchantment kill? I don't think so. Insight, blah, 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 blah. Nah. Apparently that was what I was supposed to save the absorb for, but come on, I didn't know that. I think we're dead now. But we just lost to a mythic, so it goes. Life total 4, they untap and kill us. I mean, that seems... we can't go to... I don't know, how do you do... Yeah, that's just asking to die. We gotta discard our hand. Okay. To start. If they tap out, we can go to 4. But I think we're screwed because all they have to do is leave 6 mana up. Then we can't go to 4. We have to give them a crap ton of ground blockers, and then what's the plan? Where it's so dead. Does a pro player find a win here where I missed it? I know we had some tricky lines. But we can't win from here. I guess we can maybe get... I guess we have to get enough life that the IGI can't get us, and then maybe somehow... I'll keep at it, but... it just doesn't make any sense. That, like, I don't... who cares about that? This is about getting some life back. I think they would have been better off taking away one of my life linkers. Oh, yeah, that's right. No matter what, it's just going to reduce it to 4. So I can't... There's no... Yeah, sorry, I'm not thinking about it right. This is the dawn of no hope. Dawn of no hope. Because there's nothing to draw. Like, if there was something to draw to deal with the captive audience, there'd be hope. But we're drawing for nothing. Drawing to no effect. But they just untap. Yeah, they can't kill us on attacks, but then we untap and we're dead, right? So I don't know. I'm gonna scoop. There's nothing to do about this. We're dead. Yeah, I was trying to find some way to beat the IGI threat, but couldn't do it. But we just lost to Mythics today, honestly. Deck was pretty good. No complaints for a sealed pool. Felt like we could have maybe gotten to 5 or more off of it, but ran into some powerful cards. All right, gang. I'll call that a stream today. Yeah. Thankfully, Happy's like, I don't like the EV, so I'm not playing sealed. I get it. I've preached that plenty, but I've also preached multi-accounting plenty. And now that I've multi-accounted myself into more resources than I know what to do with, suddenly sealed is fine. Anything on the menu is fine. It all gets to be about fun now, which is great. It's kind of that's the dream, right? Making your in-game choices based purely on what you're gonna have the most fun with, instead of what has the most EV, has the best EV. Thanks. Sure, we'll do one preview review, and then I'm gonna call it a stream. That's set up. Left, here we go. Oh, using my earbud. All right. Preview review time. Errant. That's quite a name. What were they thinking? Errant, street artist, is a legendary creature, human rogue at rare. 3 for 1 single mana. Flash, defender, haste. Okay, so we've got an 3 for 1 mana that's rare. It flashes in and has defender and haste. Why would you give haste to defender haste? Oh, because it has an activated ability. 1 and a blue, tap. Copy target spell you control that wasn't cast. You may choose new targets for the copy. So let's think about what are spells that aren't cast. Spells that aren't cast but are on the stack get put there through triggered effects that put something on the copied effects, right? Like basically, if it didn't come from your hand, is it copy copies? Is that the main thing? And that's what I was going to say next. It's like, I don't know which limit. I mean, I did the limited mechanic review. I don't remember all the limited mechanics off the top of my head, but surely this ties into one of the mechanics. And somebody is saying new casualty mechanic, the sack and fork. Right. Okay, that's right. So the new casualty mechanic says basically sack a creature and copy your spell. So there's a core mechanic in one of the groups that's going to be putting a lot of copies on the stack. And this lets you copy copies, which is a fun little dream, I suppose. I don't know about what, from a limited standpoint. I don't know. It depends on that mechanic, I suppose. If you're doing the thing, I would run this, but it's clearly build around. You got to be doing the thing, or what are you doing? What are you doing with the 03 flash, right? Channel isn't cast either. That's true. So it works backward. They found a way to work it with the channel mechanic as well. But it's not. But you're right. It's not a spell. Sorry, that's what you're trying to say, right? But everything on the stack is everything on. No, everything on the stack is not a spell. Copies of spells are spells, but triggered abilities are abilities, not spells, right? That's what you're getting at. Yeah. Understood now. Boy, is Magic a complicated game or what? The rules intricacies are something else. It's one of the reasons I do like digital play a lot. Magic is hard, and digital helps with some of that at least. But from a design space, you know, I like. I mean, this is what you do. When you're making Magic sets, you come up with your pillar mechanics. What are the keyword load-bearing mechanics? What are the things that are going to be the robust thing that this set is about? When people look back on it in 5 years, they can say, "Oh, that was the whatever set. What's the whatever here?" And of course, that's going to be in your core mechanics. And then you got to work backwards from the core mechanics and say, what are some build-arounds that leverage these mechanics? These mechanics are going to be everywhere, so what can we do in an environment where these 5 things are going to be everywhere? Well, and you make cards like this. So fun design. It's going to primarily, I think, be a constructed dream liver. Like people like to copy, you know, and also like maybe this is going to be in the, I could see this seeing play. You know, my least favorite deck in Standard right now, or everybody, right? Hideous Laughter copy dot deck. So this feels like it could go in the Hideous Laughter. Is it Hideous Laughter? Is that what I'm thinking of? It's the one that mills you for 20 total mana value. And I play, yeah, I play Standard probably 5% of the time, which is not 0. I like it when I'm feeling it, and I like it when I'm. Sometimes I want to grind my account. Like it's like, oh, it's 10 o'clock. I don't really feel like a draft right now, but I feel like I should get a win on my main account. So then I'll hop on and play a little Standard. But Tasha's Hideous Laughter deck is all about using all these copy abilities. There's the. It's kind of funny, like Wizards. This happens sometimes where Wizards find something that looks pretty safe, and then they do it a bunch, and then suddenly it's no longer safe because there's 12 copies of it in Standard. And I feel like that about spell copying right now. It's like, oh, so they just made spell copying all willy-nilly, and now suddenly, wait, it's pretty easy to copy spells all of a sudden. And but maybe I'm just resentful because Hideous Laughter is so good against my favorite deck right now, which is the black-red artifact deck, and that deck doesn't really run things more than 2 CMC. So it gets milled pretty hard by the old Laughter, certainly laughing at my deck. I'm not going to... I don't think this is something you'd grab if you were already doing the thing. It's not going to make me want to do the thing. And I gotta say that my final comment is that it looks like Julia Louis-Dreyfus posed for this shot. It looks like the Seinfeld actress in her younger days. I don't know. Anvil is gonna get the new. I don't know what you're talking about, Hat. But you think meat hooks are gonna get even more expensive? I should get my fancy meat hook if I want it. So I'm not alone, right? It just looks like, and it's funny because it's a very blurry. Somehow that's her though. Jerry Kramer. George! That's my terrible Elaine impersonation. All right, gang. Let's call that done. Mike doing a favor for D there, I believe. Anybody want to do Raid Captain, or am I figuring this out? Karstens, well, there you go. SLK. Now we've got SLC, SNL, SCL, SLK. It's all very complicated. Right on, everybody. Thanks for hanging out on the last week of regular streaming for a bit. Gonna announce my new job a week from today on a very, very short pre-job stream. And I'll see you Wednesday and Friday. We're going to do a farewell gauntlet on Friday and just enjoy each other's company, hopefully, for the rest of this week. And once my job is settled and I feel like I've got the lay of the land a little better, I'm hoping to get back to a once a weekend type stream schedule. So I don't plan to be done streaming, but I am coming up on a hiatus that will last as I figure out the rigors of my new employment, okay? Thanks, everybody. Say hi to Kirsten's, and I'll catch you on Wednesday, okay?